Episode do straight.
Diving it. Diving it. Diving it. Diving it.
What do you think it's called? Diving
it. Diving it. Diving it. Diving it. Diving it.
What it do, my D4 Ultras? Yeah, it's just a slut boot, man. What up? What it do, my D4 Jesus, man? Episode 23, season 2. Pep Corsiolo, my man Sir Solomon. What it do?
What's up? What's up?
Yeah. This week, man, we got Arsenal United in FA Cup. Monaco I don't fucking know what they do, man. Neither do they. Valencia, Villarreal, Battle of the V's in the motherfucking La Liga. We're going to look at Fiorentina, away to already relegated Chievo, basically. And then we're going to round you up on some FA Cup. We're going to do some big league reviews. We're going to talk about Arsenal's transfer policy or lack thereof. Mönchengladbach team profile. And as always, our prestigious and egregious D4G award section, Diving for Glory, man. Tune in. We post every Monday on iTunes, YouTube, and divingforglory.com. Also hitting you with Thursday episodes following Champions League games coming up very soon. You can also find us on Twitter at Diving for Glory and Facebook as well. Follow, hashtag, subscribe, like, retweet. Also, if you listen and like us and love us, hit us on iTunes and rate us, man. 5 stizzies, please. All right, man. Just a cup, jersey tuck, boots lace, Diving for Glory. Let's go. Yeah. There was no EPL this weekend, but there was FA Cup. Fuck up. I love the fuck up, man. I really actually do. Question.
I don't.
I know you don't. Question. Do you know, is the semifinals 2 legs or is it all straight knockout?
Knockout.
It is knockout. Good.
Even semifinals are on neutral ground.
In Wembley, right?
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. But Arsenal hosting on fire Manchester United. And talk about it, Sir Solomon.
They got lit.
They got lead up.
The
defending, man.
Yeah. Arsenal's defending was ridiculous. They started off the game with Socrates Papastopakapalais, and his name injured him in the first half, and he had to come off. And Lauren Koscielny got back heel to the face, so he had to come off.
Blood everywhere. What a blood clot.
Said Kolasinac sucks as a defender. He plays mostly going forward, and I don't know what he does. He's like their this season version of what Victor Moses used to be for Chelsea. And Maitland-Niles is doing his thing, but that whole back line, the support in front of it, it just didn't. They attacked. They had a lot of the ball in this game. They had 62% of the ball. Took 13 shots, but their streak of doing, we're gonna attack, and our finishing is gonna be bad, and we really hope you're not gonna attack us, because as soon as you do, you're gonna score. Is not really a way to go, because it looked like even though they had the dominance, that they would not finish the shots, the moves that they're making, which they didn't generally, and that the few chances, Manchester didn't even need a lot of chances. If you look at the statistics, it says Manchester had 4 shots on target, so they scored on every time they got that opening, right? Because they had 3 goals. One of it was rebounded off a shot on target by Paul Pogba. So
yep.
every time Manchester United got on target, there was a goal.
There's a goal. Yep.
So like you can't live like that.
No, you can't live like that. And watching those goals, man, they were a joke. They were a joke
It was
defensively, man.
wide opens and 2-on-1s and like.
I think on one of them they tried to do the high line and just.
How do you get caught out when you have on your team so many defensive-minded players? Like, so supposedly the back four plus the two guys in front of them have zero creativity.
Yep.
So how are all these guys up in the attack and getting left back there? Like, stay the fuck back. It's not like you have. I get it when like a nice football team X gets hit on the counter attack because they're playing a long flowing move, but this fucking team, sit the fuck back.
Yep. So, what was not the lineup, but I'm looking at the lineup actually, and I mean 3 of these dudes that started are players that came to Arsenal within the last year as if they were signed to be the answers here. Do you look at any of these guys as long-term solutions between Socrates, Kolasinac, Torreira?
I never understood Kolasinac at the time of purchase.
Free.
It was like a free whatever, so they got him, but like I didn't think he played like this prominent of a role on this team. Socrates sucks for England. Like over the course of a 90-minute game, he's gonna get got. That Mustafi guy, who's currently I think injured, he came on in this game first.
He came on. Yep.
Yeah. He's accident waiting to happen. Maitland-Niles, I think he's got good potential, but I don't think they've really figured out where he plays and what they want to do.
Is that 18 or 19 or something?
Something like that.
Yeah. They let Lingard moonwalk on him, son.
Yeah. Dude, it's been years, but like he still looks like a bank robber mask, dude.
Straight off The Simpsons.
Yes.
Straight off The Simpsons.
Early episodes.
Question for United here. Again, they continue their hot streak, 8 straight wins, including wins over Tottenham and Arsenal. Again, was this to design? Is this exactly how they wanted it? Should they feel very good? I mean, obviously you beat Arsenal away 3-1. Like,
they executed the counter-attack game against Arsenal the way they used to when they had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Alex Ferguson running it. And he was very effusive. And this was kind of a test because, like, in the 21st century, like the first decade of it, this was the biggest rivalry in England before Chelsea came and took Arsenal's spot, you know? Mm-hmm. But Arsenal played a decent game and did score, gave them a good challenge. But Manchester United, like reflective on their league, they're tied on points. They just look like a team on the ascendancy, whereas Arsenal, like, I don't even know if any of these guys in the starting 11 are going to be starting next week.
Even
we don't know.
Even Lukaku looking nice out there with a nice assist.
Oh yeah, Romelu Iniesta.
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
2 assists.
2 assists. Damn, no doubt. Go in, son. Go in. And to your point, man, United get no rest for the weary. They get Chelsea in the next round, so should be a good one.
Yeah, let's see how Gonzalo
Pipita, yeah. Who's your man of the match here?
I want to give it to Romelu Lukaku, actually, to be honest. Alexis Sanchez scored, but Lukaku played well, stretched the defense with his positioning because he didn't play as a 9. So, and did a lot of good 1-2s. Did what we always laugh at him for not being able to do. So, Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah, he's like doing other stuff except shooting. It's interesting with the 2 men up
he's
top.
He's controlling the ball.
Yeah.
Passing it without kicking it through the person.
With his lead foot.
Yeah.
Word up.
The man of the match should go to Ashley Young because he was dead weight and Arsenal identified him and went down his side the whole time and almost passed him at will.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they have an answer over there? Darmian? Is he even still there?
This Diego Dalot guy would be in, I guess.
Yeah. He played nice last game. Or in the game against Tottenham, I believe he played. Yes. Is this a big deal for Arsenal?
No, I don't think that they could really afford to be in the FA Cup and the Europa Cup and they play in the league and expect. Like, I think they needed to get bounced, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so that's good for them. Okay, let's move along. Let's move on to France, which is something we rarely do on this show. But the actions of Monaco have warranted this, that we're going to cover this. Dijon hosting Monaco.
And not only going to France, but we're going to be discussing a France relegation battle.
Yeah, even better. I love it. D4G shit, man.
So, yeah, earlier this week, Monaco suspended. And then...
What is that?
Immediately, not immediately, but within about a day's time, fired Thierry Henry to replace him with a very original, unheard of solution that nobody had thought of before. The guy that they fired to hire Thierry Henry, Leonardo Jardim. And it has to be said, you can have a bad organization and the coach needs to be fired. And this was one of those cases.
This is
like Monaco is a clown car right now, and they needed to hire one of those guys that are like a Harry Redknapp kind of guy that knows how to get these relegation battles going. Not like the most decorated French player in history.
Where's Big Sam, son? Where's Big Sam?
I'm telling you, like Big Sam would have got him out of there. He would have had him like outworking opponents within 2 weeks, man.
This is like you left your rich wife for your 19-year-old secretary and quickly realized that your 19-year-old secretary doesn't cook the same.
Okay, so the 19-year-old secretary in this sense being Mr. Thierry Henry on his last week on the job, and this is why I think it is also valid that he got fired. He said, since the overpaid players were underperforming, he banished a bunch of them from fucking team. In a club and nation that is widely like player friendly, don't pay taxes, they're overpaid. Like that's why they get all these players. Like
that's why they're there.
This is not a coach's team, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to be a player's coach. So he said that, and within 3 days he was gone.
Gone.
He said he's gonna move up the youth players and stuff. Funnily enough, Leonardo Jardim returning allowed Mr. Naldo, the defender, to come and play. Naldo, the defender, was just signed about 5-6 weeks ago at the beginning of this whole transfer system. He has already, at the end of this game, been sent off twice. He just came back from suspension, started this game, and he's been sent off once under Thierry Henry and once under his new manager. Busy man, Naldo.
And they lost to a team, Dijon, who recently gained promotion to Ligue 1. They barely stayed up last year. They're in a relegation battle again this year. Their most highly rated player is worth about $10 million. Their top goal scorer, they have 2. They're tied with 3 goals. And they blanked them here, man. 2 milli. Like, is it how correct was Thierry Henry about the players? They have 13 losses, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's correct. Like, the system is broken, but, like, you came there understanding what you're getting into, you know? And when you have won, I think 3 out of his 21 games in charge, like, you gotta pull some magic out your ass and win a couple of games, my youth.
Something, dude. They have 3 wins.
Yeah.
Dijon go 5 points clear of Monaco because of that.
Monaco deserves to go down. Well, the owner, the Russian guy or one of those Eastern Bloc countries, like the guy, he initially overspent and then like he has generally shown less and less respect over the season since. And they've been like having a yard sale every fucking summer, selling every fucking body. Like you looked at the team from I think 3 years ago, and they had Fabinho, Mbappe, like
Bernardo Silva,
Ben Mendy, Bakayoko, who incidentally is winning the spot at AC Milan.
Ridiculous squad.
They sold all these guys, didn't replace them that well, and you know, like big name teams and teams that have participated in the Champions League, when they get gutted, they suffer more than a smaller team that's used to that fight. These guys, and he's right. They would turn off, but they got put in one of the weirdest situations. And then this season, at the beginning of the season, they get hit with a bunch of injuries. It was done. You needed somebody with a lot more experience than fucking Thierry Henry.
So you were hopeful at the beginning of that appointment that this was a chance for him.
I did not realize how dysfunctional the whole situation is.
He didn't really have any experience anywhere else, did he?
No, he was
doing
assistant coach of the Belgium team and
under Roberto Martinez. It's not a good look, homie.
It's not a bad look. I think Roberto Martinez gets a bad rap. He's a good manager. He doesn't win championships, but one guy wins a championship. You know what I'm saying? For this, being Roberto Martinez's assistant, Roberto Martinez would have got him out of this.
Yeah. So, how much does this hurt Henry's stock? Does he need to go? He kind of needs to go back to the drawing board. Be like an offensive coordinator, like they do in the NFL.
Yeah,
let me bust down for a minute.
Yeah, maybe under Pep or somebody, and just kind of sit down or just do something else and go make some money in Qatar or one of the fucking clubs there or something. But he needs a situation where he can really find his identity as a manager.
No doubt.
And it's hard to do that when every week the questions are, you think you're going to get fired next week?
Cesc, it is worth mentioning that the former Arsenal player Cesc Fabregas did play in this game to no avail.
The Cesc Fabregas and the Yuri Tillemans midfield is already looking like a disaster. And Jardim and Yuri Tillemans do not get along. So Leicester City trying to make a move for homeboy. 25 mil.
Nice. Already, huh? Ugh. Do you have a player to match here?
Nope.
The entire Dijon 11. Go ahead, man.
Get
Get your 3 points.
Let's give you all some names. Cedric Yambere, you are man of the match. Jordan Marie, you are man of the match. Naeem Sliti.
I would like to say that all the burgundy that they drank after the match was probably also man of the match.
And Chang Hoon Kwan too.
Chang Hoon Kwan, yeah.
Chang Hoon Kwan.
Drank some
Dijon name if I ever heard one.
Whew, man.
Osama Haddadi.
Some good drinking out in Dijon, man. All right, move along. Hit you off with La Liga, and I believe Valencia was hosting Villarreal, and these are usually two pretty competitive teams. I at least in my experience watching football, Villarreal seems to be a much more up and down team than Valencia. Villarreal fighting relegation this year, and
it's funny because Villarreal is generally known as a very small team, and they're actually neighboring places. I think Villarreal is a close suburb of Valencia, or whatever, but it was a city of 30,000 people, and it's a well-run team, and that's why they're in this level. Whereas Valencia is a much bigger supported team that is chaotically run. And now, right, this particular season, Valencia is very stable. They have their coach that they're not going to fire anytime soon. For once, they have a core of players. Their stadium is built and they're playing in it. Whereas Villarreal, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Last season, they sold their top striker in the middle of the season to China.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to buy somebody. So they've been struggling. And it's funny because it's their defense that's really fucking them, because Valencia has 22 league goals this season. And we've always talked about the Dani Parejo penalty wins,
Yep.
Villarreal has scored 21 goals. Except they've conceded 11 more goals than Valencia, and that's the difference between being in 7th place and being in 19th place.
Oh?
11 goals, 11 points difference.
Yeah. No doubt. That is 4 wins and a draw in their last 5 league games for Valencia. So they've definitely been on the upswing after their kind of slow start. They are definitely creeping a little bit here on The top 6 in the league. They sit 7th place, 2 points behind Getafe and 7 points off Sevilla for 4th place. Any chance Valencia make a run at that?
A 4th place?
Yeah. 7 points.
Not the way Sevilla's playing right now.
Well, I mean, until yesterday, or until the day, or whatever, the last game they played, they'd been on a downswing too, Sevilla.
Yeah, but overall, like if you look at like a 10-game stretch, I don't know. I think Sevilla's got a better team than they do. They have many more options, and like Wissam Ben Yedder, Sarabia, and like they score a lot. You know what I'm saying? They have. We talked about Valencia having scored 22 goals. They have scored 36.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They've scored more goals than Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. So I think.
Okay. Yeah. No, fair. Villarreal, they are 3 points. They are 19th place, 3 points back of safety. What's their season? What's their prognosis looking like?
Their prognosis is looking more and more like relegation. Celta Vigo is down in 17th place, but I think Celta Vigo's forward line is a lot more potent, and they will like. Relegation teams usually come down to who has more guys that can score goals.
Wasn't Villarreal relegated recently? Within a few seasons ago?
They did, I think, but I'll have to check on that. But yeah, I think they might be relegated this year.
Would that be? I mean, obviously, it's never good when you get relegated, but could it really? Like, they have a few young players that teams would want to snatch up.
If you look at Rayo Vallecano and Celta, they actually have. Villarreal is fucked because they tie a lot of games. They have 9 ties. Valencia has 11. That's the only team, and Atletico. That's the only 2 teams that have more than them. And if they could turn a few of their ties into victories, they'll survive. If they don't, and they turn into losses, then they're going down.
Just for perspective, we did not mention it. If you did not know, man, Villarreal finished 5th last year. That's tough to drop from 5th to 19th.
But a lot of times, teams that finish in Europe, that happens, especially Europa Cup teams, because they can't handle it, and especially a team as thin as Villarreal, like Thursday, Saturday is a death knell.
They're pulling a Burnley, son.
Yeah, Everton had that problem a lot of seasons where they'd finish like 6-7, and then they'd start. The one guy that was nice would get sold to some other team, and then like you start the season off on 6. You know.
Yeah. Who's your man of the match here?
You lost me at the Valencia game. I don't know.
Parejo?
Might as well. He always
worked
scores.
it. Yeah, he worked it. His heat map looks
I didn't really consider it more because it said more about Villarreal than anything else. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right. Well, as mentioned, Valencia creeping on that top 6, and Villarreal are creeping on relegation. Moving along to Serie A, we're gonna look at this Chievo Verona hosting Fiorentina, and not much at stake here, but it's a fun game.
I guess 3 points standard at stake every league game. So, but Chievo is certainly going down. But like
Fiorentina could creep on a Europa spot.
Yeah, Fiorentina not could. They're right there. They're 3 points away from 6th.
5 points out of 4th, even. Yeah.
Exactly.
So major 3 points for them to hold on.
And we have written Chievo off because they are 9 points from safety. But players within the team would still be trying to ball, which they fucking did. Fiorentina goes ahead in this game. 1 second. So early, the big man, we talked about him last week, Luis Muriel. Scored 2 against his old club. We gave him goal of the week for one of them. He starts off the game 4 minutes in with a goal.
Getting it started, getting it popping early.
Yep. And then Giovanni Simeone, Diego's son, assists to Marco Banassi for 2-0 in 26 minutes. At which point you're thinking, Fiorentina away got it. But Stupinski brings them 2-1 down. If it comes to 2-1, by mind you, this game is in Verona. Second half starts and professional handball on Marco Benassi. Benassi gets fucking sent off. So he's been busy. He had a yellow card, second yellow card, and scored a goal in this game.
Done.
So he gets out immediately. The Pellissier scores the penalty, first penalty against them. At this point, it's a tie game. 60th minute, and Fiorentina's down a player. Now, in the theme of ex-players' sons playing in Fiorentina, Giovanni Simeone having done his thing already, he gets substituted, and Enrico Chiesa's son, scores to make it 3-2 Fiorentina. And then later to make
10-man Fiorentina at that point.
Yes, 3-2 10-man Fiorentina. And then in the 85th minute, Chievo get a penalty, which is saved by the goalkeeper,
Sergio Pellissier.
Yes, after which Chiesa makes it 2-4, but not to give up in the 89th minute. They pulled one back, and the game ended 4-3 to an undermanned team away from home. Chievo will go down, but he couldn't help but feel sorry for them after this game.
Chievo with 22 shots, 8 on target to Fiorentina's 14. Of course, they played a large portion, not a large portion, about a third of the game, 10 men down. So Chievo was actually,
they're
going
really
at it.
Unlucky because they got, unlucky and bad, of course.
Damn,
they gave up 4 goals in, 5 shots on target.
6 big chances created. 15 shots in the box. Mm-hmm. Yeah, with all that being said, 13 of Fiorentina's 14 were also in the box.
That has to also be said. Chievo, in addition to scoring 3, hit the post once, and Fiorentina hit the woodwork 2 times in this game. It was, for a game that, like you said earlier, there's not much in it. They played it like there was everything in it, and respect the professionalism on both sides.
And you would say, who is the man of the match here?
Man of the match, I would have to give it to Mr. Federico Chiesa for his double goal. Double
goals, hit the woodwork once, blocked a few shots, had a key pass, 82% passing.
A lot of fun to watch. Given the chance, I would invite people to watch that team play.
I've watched them a couple times, actually. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, so as I was mentioning, or as we mentioned, this does nothing to Chievo, really, because they're going down. Fiorentina, though, get all 3 points, much needed. They sit 9th right now, 3 points back of 6th place Sampdoria, 5 points back of 4th place AC Milan. That is our back four. We're going to go ahead and move it on up to the midfield.
Hasta la vista, baby. Hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah. Midfield, since we do not have EPL to talk about, we're still going to hit you with some FA Cup. Not the whole damn thing, though. There's just too many teams that are what the fuck ever, to be honest with you. But man, there were some upsets. There was some massacres. We'll just talk about some of the Premier League teams here and mention Newcastle bowing out 2-0 to Watford. Swansea. Manchester City doing what they do to Burnley normally. Hanging 5 on them. Was nasty, dude. 4-0 and they bring on Aguero. Nasty. Battle of the Albions.
Ended 0-0.
0-0. Brighton Hove and West Brommy. West Brom. What was it I said last year? Abramovich. West Abramovich.
Wesley Abramovich.
Oh, man. Wolves take a 2-2 to Shrewsbury. Millwall. Millwall over Everton.
Yes.
That was a fun game from the beginning.
That was a fun game and actually an expected result. Because that's the sound of Everton dying.
That was the sound of dude getting slashed in the face before the game.
Yeah, the punch ups outside of the in London were fucking spectacular. Millwall, one of the known hooligan teams. Millwall without hooligans is nothing. That's what the sign that they themselves held up.
Yes.
And so, but like it was expected. Away to Millwall, an Everton team that has been
Awful away.
and very liable to turn off. And they got the work.
94th minute goal by Murray Wallace. Actually, they were down 2-1. Come 75th minute, Jake Cooper equalizes and Murray Wallace, 94th minute.
Charlison
Done.
and Sanctosuna out here wasting their goals in a fucking FA Cup loss. Even though he's like in the fucking midst of a fucking long goalless streak.
Isn't Millwall like a traditional rival of somebody?
West Ham.
West Ham, yeah, the hooligan. Oh,
East,
man.
East London.
They can't even play anymore, I assume. Or it has to be some type of
What?
those two teams. Like, those are the
they
hooligan
play.
teams, are they not?
I mean, not necessarily. West Ham is their rival, so like West Ham is kind of used to be not really anymore now because everybody within London is kind of rich. But
But I was just going to say, is that like historically that area? Because
historically, East London was pretty rough.
always the east side, man. Always the east side.
Which is funny because like I think Crystal Palace is in South London, which is supposed to be pretty rough now, but it's one of the friendliest fan bases. They're very
The mighty Wombles from the lane. Speaking of West Ham,
yes.
they put it the fuck on West Ham.
Yeah, they needed some hooligans at their game. They fucking got their asses handed to them, but they didn't really. I mean, West Ham doesn't need to be in the cup competition right now.
We are the Wombles.
The mighty
Wombles.
Wombles from the lane.
We drink champagne. We snort cocaine.
You've got shit jobs. Second.
Oh, he said, you shag your dogs. Yes, Wimbledon go through. Crystal Palace put it on. Crystal Palace B team put it on Tottenham B team 2-0. This is a blessing for Tottenham, in my opinion.
No,
Why not?
it doesn't apply to Tottenham. Tottenham needs any cup that they can get at this point for the Mauricio Pochettino era. Like, and the League Cup, I mean, the Cup game would have been as good as any, but, like, they ain't winning the Champions League.
No,
They're not leading the league.
They need top four, though.
They're in a comfortable position in the top four to where they should be. Dude, what do you even expect?
Debatable. Comfortable.
Yeah. What do you like outside of being like a runaway champion? What do you want from a team in January other than to be in third place?
Oh, yeah, that's fine, but it ain't saying it's comfortable. That's all. That's my only contention.
Oh, so you would rest players in the so since sometime in the future somebody might drop points?
I'm not thinking about FA Cup. I know that as a Tottenham coach, and he said as much. And you can tell
He
by
said
the,
as much, but
you
like
can
he's
tell by the
also
team
a
that he tried
perennial
it out.
loser.
No,
You know?
agreed.
So
I
I
don't-
disagree with it.
I don't think FA Cup means a damn thing if you're not getting top four. And
I don't
and
think
the
that it has to be
prospect
one
of-
or the other. If you think that, then that's where we differ.
Nah, the FA Cup is different because you got the replay factor. You know what I'm saying? You're traveling off to some fucking League One side where they haven't managed a pitch in fucking 6 months.
Most
and
of
you're doing
the last few years winners of the FA Cup were top four teams.
Oh, I agree. No, I mean, I don't agree, but yeah, okay. But so what?
So, like, I don't get your argument. What do you like? What do you expect to do? Like,
Who won it last year?
Chelsea.
Did they finish top four?
They're the defending champions, but they finished sixth. Yeah,
Fifth. But
Fifth,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But,
I
yeah.
mean,
and that's why
all those
like,
games matter, I think. They just matter. I don't
They
care.
do, but like winning a cup, like life is not all international. For local fans, winning the FA Cup is huge. It's not all about like so and so in DC or whatever, you know. And I think that as a culture, if you have a movement that has been so close to the top for so long, first of all, the fact that they can't participate in more than one competition, if that's what you're saying, is a failure on their part too. And so
This is
there's
Tottenham,
no
though. But they
Sure,
don't
sure,
have
if that's-
they don't have real ambition, and we know that.
Okay.
So their main goal is to stay top 4. They don't have they don't want to win any of this shit. They just want the top 4 is the trophy. I've been telling my boy they're the new Arsenal, man. That's how I can't see no different. They don't want. I mean, they don't even fucking replace anybody.
Think that even finishing top 4, like the thing about Arsenal finishing top 4 all those years was that they had a championship pedigree to lean on. You know what I'm saying? And that's what bought them all that time. Like without anything, to call them the new Arsenal is like flattering them. Like Arsenal,
They wish.
like Arsenal should be insulted by this, not them. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Do remember my perspective when I say that, because Arsenal's never won shit in my time but top 4. And I always laugh at
Your time is very short.
What was Arsenal? I know.
Yeah.
Was it, what, 8 or 9 years? It's almost a decade.
Okay, almost.
And they had when was their last title? Was it the Invincibles or was it like 06?
No. 06 they got to the Champions League final. 05 was their last.
05 was the last title. So it's been almost 15 years at this point. Anyway, who cares, man? Tottenham. Lost. Gone.
Almost 80 years. So to say that, you know what I'm saying? Like that 15 years looks like a very short time when you're looking at Tottenham's record of
50.
championships.
50, man. Not 80.
Okay, whatever. Now we want to get accurate, you know? Like there's a big difference between 15 and 50.
Oh, man. Chelsea, though. Put it on Sheffield Wednesday, 3-0. Willian went off. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and also, like, in that time, Arsenal has won League Cups and FA Cups. I don't give League Cup a lot of respect, but, like, they have finished top 4 and won cups in that time.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's very basic to think that you should be able to advance in the FA Cup against Crystal Palace. I would get it if you got like City and you're like, I'm going to get my ass beat anyways and bench him. But like,
I think
it's a basic requirement. Like, especially when even Palace didn't really come to get it.
I think the final bit of context for it, though, is the moment. And when you look at the fucking injury crisis they're in, they just can't afford more games, man. I get what you're saying, but I don't think they have that real ambition anyway, so I think that's relatively a moot point. Like, they don't win a trophy here, win a trophy there. They don't give a fuck about that. You know what I'm saying? They're barely hanging by a thread. Top 4.
I don't know, like, I guess it's all perspective, because I don't think that Tottenham in their top 4 quest is hanging by a thread. Like, yeah, they have what they have going on, but like the teams underneath them are not playing as good as them at all either. You know, it's not like they're like being ran down by some productive teams. If they're not in 3rd, they're gonna finish in 4th. Like it's pretty close to being secure that there'll be a top 4 team.
Okay. 7 points, just to make that mention for the listeners out here, they're 7 points clear of 5th place. They are 4 points clear of 4th place.
5th place who?
5th place Arsenal and 6th place United, who are even on points. United here, of course, the threat, but you would need 2 teams to pass Tottenham. So you'd be talking Chelsea
3 teams.
2 teams to pass them.
Yes.
Yeah. So you'd be talking Man United and Chelsea, whatever. 2 of the 3 teams, Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal. No doubt. If you consider that comfortable, I don't. We shall agree to disagree.
Just for your point, just to make your point, but you do not consider a 7-point lead comfortable. Let's establish that for now.
Not with
Chelsea.
Not with 15 games to go, and the level of injuries that they have. I think that's the other issue to me is just that the team.
Okay.
Yeah. Word up. Moving along. As mentioned, though, man,
we're always working from a they fucked up perspective. If we think that them sitting in 3rd, 7 points above 5th, is not like a good direction for them to go, it's like we've already come to the conclusion of what we think of them and just apply everything to that. Like, this is a good fucking season. 3rd place, like 7 points out of 5th.
Is it the best season in their history for a long while? It was.
Yeah.
Like, as
that's
far
what I'm
as the
saying.
start
Like,
is concerned.
so when you have this team, this generation, and they come through your ranks and don't do nothing other than be almost men for your fans, I think that's a travesty. And to, if you're saying that they just don't care about winning the FA Cup, then against
So
us.
so your point a lot of times though is that you remember where Tottenham came from. They're a mid-table team. So
I'm not saying, but this is, you're saying that since they can't afford to do other things, they shouldn't try to, like, I think that a mid-table team is exactly who should be chasing the FA Cup, because they don't have many opportunities
Absolutely.
to win.
yeah, mid-table team.
Yeah, and that's what they are, though.
What do you mean that's what they are?
Like mid-table, like 10, like historically, that's what they are, and that's why you
I thought
need
you
to
meant
pad your stats.
at the moment. Well,
I mean, every time. Okay, so Leicester is a championship team. They won a championship 2 years ago. But no, they're usually a relegation
That's
battle
fair.
team.
Yeah. No, that's fair. But, yeah. Whatever, man. Fucking Tottenham, dude. Fucking Tottenham. All right, man. Moving along. Rest of the world. Rest of the Big Five leagues. Chop. We're going to start you off in La Liga. Run through some of these matches. We already talked about the Valencia Villarreal. Sevilla fucking crushed Levante 5-0.
Yeah.
That was a long time coming. I think they were blanked in their 2 games before that.
Yeah, they weren't in form, but Real Madrid has really taken a big lead that Sevilla has and passed them to to where they're down 2 points. But like one of the losses they had was Real Madrid.
Yep.
Not like they're out there fucking up to Leganes and shit.
No, for sure.
But
Yep.
they have 5 losses total in the league, and I think 2 of them came in the past couple of weeks, so it looks really worse than it is.
Yeah, man. All 3 points. Smash City. The slow and steady train that is Atletico Madrid continues on with a 2-0 over Getafe, who got 2 red cards in this game near the end. Must have been a little prickly.
Yeah, both of them are actually second yellow. So I don't know how prickly it was, but like they were.
That was Atletico at home. Girona hosting Barcelona, and Barcelona get all 3 points with a 2-0.
Barca, this game was not as comfortable as the 2-0 looked, but the goals were nice, and Girona really played well against Barca until they got the red card, and after that, Luis Suarez did a little nice piece of diving for glory and got their guy sent off. There was a foul, but there was not a sending off or even a yellow card. There was like slight contact on the back of his heel, and he acted like he was dead.
Bilbao with the red card here with the 1-0 over Betis. A late red card, though.
Yeah, but he's been kind of up in the clouds. They were due a fucking loss, and away game to Bilbao is always tough. In related matters, Betis is going to be hosting the Kings Cup final.
Really? Cool.
Just announced today.
Okay. Real Madrid away to Espanyol, and they put up 4 on them. 4-2. It's like Ghost of Christmas Past in this motherfucker.
Goes to Christmas past, indeed, but they sacrificed Rafael Varane for a few days for it because he got a straight red.
Strazate.
But Karim Benzema, who's in good form, and Sergio Ramos, who's on fire, so to speak, are killing it for him. Gareth Bale had a goal, Benzema had a double, and Sergio Ramos scored.
As we speak, Alaves are hosting Vallecano, and they are down 1-0, 64th minute. Alaves looking like they're going to continue their free fall down the standings.
Yeah, they were never supposed to be there.
Speaking of the standings, Barcelona, 49 points, top. Atletico Madrid, 44. Real Madrid, 39. So a 10-point gap between Barcelona and Real stands. 5-point gap in between those 3 teams, and then Sevilla sit 4th with 36 points. Alaves, Getafe, Valencia, Betis. Moving along to Serie A. And there was not much going on, but there was still some interesting results. Sampdoria smashed Udinese.
There's a lot going on. It was like Goal City in the
4-0. It is. There's a lot of goals. Just talking about the matchups. But Milan hosting Napoli
Which is funny because that was supposed to be the marquee matchup of the weekend. It was a complete bore fest. Dud.
0-0.
Yep.
AC though. AC happy to get that point at home.
I wish
Take
I
it.
could bet both get 0 points for that game.
A handball at the very end got Fabian Ruiz with a red card. Milan take the point. We already mentioned Chievo Verona. Atalanta, Roma. Roma up 2-0 in this game. Doing what Roma has been doing all year. Up 3-0, excuse me.
Yeah.
Like we just felt the need, just didn't feel the need to say the same thing over and over about Roma.
They've been crazy up and down. They were 3-0 up, 3-1 at halftime. And Sharawi Dzeko double had done it. Nicola Zanolio, who, by the way, you will not know, but when at the beginning of the season, Raja Nainggolan went from Roma to Inter, they asked for Nicola Zanolio as one money plus that and another player, but like Inter didn't give a shit. They just like, okay, take him. And this is why Monchi is the fucking man. Now he is the hottest midfielder in Italian football. Like the past few weeks, he's just been blown up on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So
No
they
doubt.
were 3-0 up, 3-1, and then they just shat the bed. And they could have actually lost this game.
Tree, man.
Yeah, with a missed penalty by Atalanta. Duvan Zapata. Off target.
Did he follow that right back up? Because that's what it looks like.
I don't know how you can follow up an off target
Off target. Oh, I didn't see that.
penalty, but maybe.
Oh, he scored like a minute later. That's why I was asking.
I know. It could be.
Yeah, interesting. As I was interested in the Parma game a little bit. Parma hosting Spal. They were up 2-0 in this game.
Yeah, they had a penalty and in the first half, Roberto Inglese, and then he did another goal in the second half, and they were 2-0 up and looking quite comfortable. And then a 5-minute stretch where Spal scored 2 goals.
Matteo Velati on at 68.
Yes.
Goal at 70.
Yes, indeed. And Andrea Patagna. And then in the 87th minute, Mohamed Ferez finishes it off for a come from behind 3-2 victory for Spal.
I like that matchup. Parma was a newly promoted team. We profiled them earlier in the year, and Spal was on the verge of relegation last year, and they're sitting comfortable in the middle of the table and take all 3 points. Speaking of free falls, man, Inter. Torino
It was
hosting.
funny.
What?
Spal is 7 points from relegation.
Yeah. Oh yeah, comfortable, man. What? Have you seen their roster, man?
I just like
Shut the fuck up, man. Torino hosting Inter, and they get the 1-0 here, man. What the fuck, Inter?
Inter seems like extremely under. I don't know. It's weird right now. Perisic put in a transfer request. Mauro Icardi, is he going to sign his contract? Is he not? What's going on? We don't know. And they've been underperforming for a while. And I actually think that unless results don't change, if Roma, because you remember Roma was in 10th and now they're in 5th. If Roma keeps climbing up and Inter keeps dropping points, I can actually see Luciano Spalletti getting the can. Like,
So
this
they
team
were-
is fucking up.
So they were playing relatively well before the break, but they have come back from the break with a draw and a loss. A draw to Sassuolo, and they have not scored a goal since being back in the league. Torino sitting middle of the table as well, 30 points, even with Fiorentina.
Also 3 points out of Europa.
Yep. Lazio hosting Juventus, and Mr. Ronaldo saves them in the 88th minute.
Yeah, Juve played a shit game. Lazio actually should feel like they could get something out of this. And Lazio's goal is actually a Juve goal.
To put that in perspective,
Emre can't.
Lazio with 17 total shots, Juventus with only 6. which is the amount of shots on target that Lazio had. Yeah, Lazio should feel hard done. What the fuck, man?
And they should also have shooting practice.
That would help. Today, Empoli hosted Genoa. Genoa got 3-1. All right, word up. Serie A standings. Juventus, 11 points clear of Napoli, who are 8 points clear of Inter, who are 5 points clear of Milan. And Roma, even with their draw, still sit there a point back of Milan, or a point up on Sampdoria. That little 4th, 5th, 6th looks like a nice tight race, man.
Yeah. Oh, why not even throw in
Atlanta,
Lazio, and take it down to anything from 4 to Fiorentina at 9. Torino's right there too, but Torino just sold their striker, I think, to Milano. But yeah, anything can happen. Fiorentina's nice, man. They're right there with these guys.
Okay. Word up.
And they're a young team, so they might be on the ascendancy, you don't know.
No doubt. All right, moving along. Head on over to the Bundesliga. And here,
Dortmund romp, Bayern romp.
Yeah, Hertha and Schalke started it off with a 2-2 draw. Hertha is in the top half of the table. Schalke have been creeping for a while, since being in the relegation zone for a while. Mönchengladbach sitting top 4, get a 2-0 over Augsburg. Going to look a little bit more at them here in a second. Wolfsburg, who surprisingly well, they were actually in the relegation playoffs last year, but they get waxed by Bayer Leverkusen. Kind of started the season slow, 3-0 Leverkusen away. Hoffenheim get the 4-2 over Freiburg, and as you mentioned, BVB Dortmund smash City over Hanover.
Started the weekend off on Saturday with the fuckery at Hamburg. They completely dominated them. Marco Reus with a beautiful goal. Rafael Guerrero, Mario Götze, Axel Witsel, Ashraf Hakimi, like complete team effort.
Sancho balling.
Yeah, Sancho has multiple assists. Marco Reus has assists. Like it was complete team football, and Hanover, they should just be glad they didn't concede 96.
Man, I hope they win so bad. Werder Bremen, hosting Frankfurt. Gotta get that in there, man. Deuce with Frankfurt. Frankfurt sitting top 6. As you mentioned, Bayern with the 4-1 romp over Stuttgart. And Leipzig dropped 4 on the Great Wizard Dusseldorf.
It was very unfortunate for Fortuna.
Very unfortunate. Whew. Standings. Dortmund still 6 points clear of Bayern Munich, who are 3 points clear of Mönchengladbach, who are 5 points clear of Leipzig. 5th place is Frankfurt, 6th place is Hoffenheim. And again, similar to Serie A, this whole 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th is all kind of pretty tight, man. Even 11th, if you want to say further. And and then there's a job.
So there's the Dortmund and Bayern, and then there's a 11-team middle, and then there is the relegation battle.
The relegation battle. Yep, which is Nuremberg, Hanover, Stuttgart, Augsburg.
So basically, Fortuna, Freiburg, and Schalke will not get into Europe and will not get relegated. That's what the numbers are.
What it's looking like.
12, 13, and 14. That's what their season is.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's looking like. Briefly going to look at the Ligue 1. The big news actually coming out of Ligue 1
is
Neymar.
No, you're wrong.
Salah?
No, again wrong.
Henry?
No, wrong.
Hold up. Mr. Mario Balotelli.
Yes! The debut with the goal for Mario.
What?
He's in Marseille now.
I looked, I saw, it's like red card. I wonder if it was Balotelli. And it wasn't, though. Only goal for them, they lose 2-1 to Lille.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned, the Dijon result already. Nice performing all right without him. Get the 2-0 over Nimes. Montpellier 2-0 over Caen. Lyon 1-0 away to Amiens. And PSG 4-1 as they continue their march probably towards an undefeated season. It's looking like, unless they fall asleep. Goals by 2 by Cavani, 1 by Mbappe, 1 by Di Maria. Neymar, though, possibly out for the year. That was announced. And this game and this league, whatever. It's over. PSG has won it. Leo sits second. Lyon sit third. And then there's
Champions League, Manchester United.
Yeah, that gets a little more interesting. We'll probably talk about that maybe even next week, I think.
Yeah, because everybody's so caught up in the Neymar hate and Mbappe love that they don't realize how much of a, like, in terms of big chances created, dribbles taken on and stuff, like Neymar.
Oh, Neymar, dude.
Like top in, not the team, but in Europe in a lot of these categories.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah. Dude is sick, man. Literally at the moment.
You can be really, consider him an annoying cunt and still show respect to the game.
Well, let's talk about a team that we talked about earlier, Arsenal. And let's talk about their transfers or their lack of transfers this winter. Who, with some injuries in their back line, with some injuries on their team, and with Holding being out now. What's the right back name? I can't think of his name.
Bellerin,
yeah.
He's for the year.
Done for the year. Koscielny went off injured in this game.
He's
Socrates went off injured.
Like bruised,
yeah.
Like Socrates is an actual injury.
Yep.
They need defenders.
And they couldn't do shit in the window, but loans at the best.
They cannot, because the Premier League, to keep in line with financial fair play, created their own system for their teams to stay in line, and one of them is called short-term cost control. And so basically everybody has the same TV deal. This was created because TV deals were exploding and they didn't want teams to overpay immediately. So
when you say the same TV deal, are we talking basically revenue sharing?
Yes.
Okay.
So the revenue sharing that you do is based on where you finish and stuff, but it's not a lot of difference between,
It's not like La Liga where
it's not. Yeah, that's actually separate negotiations. So like that's a whole different.
Not even close. Yeah.
But once you take that out, like the teams have to prove how much income generating outlets they have and how much money comes in, and that's what you're allowed to spend out of. And so Arsenal falling out of the Champions League for now the second season has killed a lot of revenue, while at the same time they have a team with a lot of players on Champions League salary. So the thing is, outside of just like your revenue increasing, if you don't do that, you can only increase next season's salary, if you're Arsenal, by £7 million, which is basically about £130,000 a week, which is not even a player these days.
Yeah, not for Arsenal.
Yeah.
So, and they got into this jam how?
They fell out of the Champions League.
Yep.
Like just getting to the second round of the Champions League is a 70 million euro.
Was there not? There was
just
also
getting to the Champions League, huh?
The Ozil re-signing.
Yes, the Ozil re-signing was a panic move by Gazidis, I think, before he left, and it was known that at the time, and Alexis, that's why they had to get rid of Alexis too, is because that fucks up the pay structure in a way that basically Ozil is 3 players in this current pay structure.
How much of this is influencing the Ramsey move?
A lot, but not as much as you think, because starting this summer, Arsenal actually will have money.
Yeah.
They have the new shirt deal. They have a new Emirates naming deal coming up. So they'll have a fuckload of money. That's why they're negotiating, whether it's with Barca or Inter, to get Perisic or Denis Suarez, and they're saying like loans they're just trying to find enough to hold them until the end of the season, and then but they're also not trying to do the loan with option, like with forced buy.
So Perisic can play center back. That attacking players don't feel like what they need.
I understand what you're saying, but not getting Perisic doesn't necessarily mean that Arsenal is going to have a defensive player either. Like, it's a multi-pronged approach, so you can't be like, oh, since we don't have any defenders, like, let's cancel this. Like, the Perisic loan, if it happens, they have to take it because it's not salary. You're paying a loan fee. Mm-hmm. So the salary is taken care of on the other side. So if you get that, that's completely independent of what you're doing to try to fill up. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. I did not understand that loans the home team the own team pays the wages still, huh?
It depends on the arrangement.
On the arrangement,
it depends.
Yeah.
Sometimes they split it, sometimes, but like the major part of what's going to count because it's a loan is the loan fee. So mostly though the home team, the team with the rights to the player takes care of it.
Okay. So Arsenal is fucked this year, huh? Three more days left in the transfer window.
I don't know what kind of defender you could get in the January transfer window, even if they weren't fucked. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think they just need to move guys around like teams do in this time. Like, why is Granit Xhaka still? Like, just find them different players, but. Yeah, they're pretty fucked. Out of the top 6 teams, they are the 6th most impressive.
Okay.
And it's only because of the gap between 6 and 7 is almost untenable that like they're still in 6th. Like I think they're gonna continue to like flounder, not free fall, but like they're gonna win a couple, lose one, draw one. And
yeah, especially with the injuries, I definitely see that being a possibility. But what also is a possibility is us moving to the next section. Holla. A little tremolo for you, man. A little tremolo. Going for Dolo. All right, man. We're going to do a quick little club profile for you. Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Yeah, Borussia Mönchengladbach, which you'll find that the name is Borussia in German teams is actually applied only to the clubs. It's a Latinized version of the word Prussia, and it only applies to clubs from the Prussian part of Germany. So Borussia Dortmund, Borussia Mönchengladbach are Prussian teams because you know that Germany is a federation of states when it happens. So they're from the kingdom of Prussia, and when soccer started, like all the teams from the kingdom of Prussia started using the Borussia name. You know. They joined the Bundesliga in 1965. Don't think that's a short time because the Bundesliga, as we know, it happened around then, like a few years before that. Yep. And in the 70s was the height of their thing. They won 5 championships. They won in Europe, Cup Winners' Cup, UEFA Cup at the time, and they have won in their history the league 5 times.
Okay.
In terms of support, they are the 5th largest club in Germany. And current Borussia Dortmund head coach
Lucien Favre
was their coach from 2010 to 2015, where he coached current German Footballer of the Year, Marco Reus.
Okay.
Where Marco Reus in 2011 won German Player of the Year for Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Oh, Mönchengladbach. And then they sold him to Dortmund. Okay.
Yes. And
yeah, Mönchengladbach's always been, as far as I've been watching, they're always like one of those upper teams. They bounce around a little bit, but I know I've seen them in Champions League a number of times.
The late 90s, they started kind of coming back, but they had fallen off. and a U.S. goalkeeper.
Now?
No. In the late 90s and early 2000s, famous U.S. goalkeeper, Mr. Casey Keller.
Casey Keller.
You don't know Casey Keller?
No,
The U.S. goalkeeper. He was the 2006 World Cup. He was their goalkeeper. I don't know if he was at the 2010 too, but he was the U.S. Player of the Year for 97, 99, and 2005, and he played for Mönchengladbach the whole time.
Okay.
Jupp Heynckes, the ex-Bayern Munich coach, he coached them. He was also two-time top scorer for the team. Martin Dahlin in 1993 of Sweden fame. Ethiopian people will remember Dahlin. He's for his partnership with Mr. Brolin, Thomas Brolin and Martin Dahlin in 1994 World Cup. But yeah, they had Bertie Vogts, ex of Germany, play for them. This is a big team that has kind of fallen off for the last few years, and it's on their way back. They're currently just a mid-level team.
Currently third place, and they have a Hazard brother on their team.
Oh yeah. Thorgan is out there, and I think that this is going to be actually his last season there, but he is killing it, and I think he's going to be one of the contenders for Bundesliga Player of the Season.
Yeah, I remember when Hazard went to Eden Hazard went to Chelsea. He was like an add-on or whatever, and there was not, at least what I had read about him was there wasn't much hope or whatever. But he went to, where'd he go? He went to like Switzerland. Was like Swiss Player of the Year like 3 or 4 years in a row, and then he moved up over here.
Or did he go back to Belgium?
Belgium? Did he? Is that where he was?
Okay. Belgium and, yeah, but Thorgan is I think when he just came as an add-on, like you said, with the Hazard, it was just assumed that that's all he was. Because there is a culture in sports of just getting a second guy just because they come with the package, you know?
Yep.
So I don't think he really got a fair shake. And if you look at interviews and stuff from Thorgan Hazard, he has no interest in playing with Hazard, with Eden. Mm-hmm. Like, he wants his own identity, his own team, and, like, he went about and did it. And his style of football is actually...
It's nice. He's nice.
Very nice.
He's nice.
Yeah.
9 goals, 6 assists so far. The top-rated player. Rumors of him going to Dortmund. Did you mention that already?
No, I had not. But yeah, it's always either Dortmund or Bayern Munich out there. Mm-hmm. Their natural rivals are FC Cologne, and they also have a Borussia rivalry with Borussia Dortmund. And their fans are known to sing "There's only one Borussia."
They are tied for goals conceded so far this season in the Bundesliga with 18, which is less than Dortmund, less than Bayern. 39 goals scored. So I mean, they're balling this year.
Yeah.
Mönchen. I be Mönchengladbach, son. All right, man. Moving along. Prestigious and egregious D4G awards. Dude of the week goes to.
Oh, we're going to give it to Mr. Fabio Quagliarella, who at the young age of 85 years old has scored in 11 consecutive Serie A games, matching the previously held record, I think, by Totti. by Totti.
No doubt. He's renowned for his... not a bicycle kick, but a wheelchair kick. No. Man, he's been balling this year. He had one of the dopest goals I've seen this year, too.
Yeah. He's actually a spectacular player. His time at Juve was marred with the tragedy of blackmail that we talked about earlier. But he's a small club superstar, and Italy nurtures those.
He certainly...
like a lot of smaller clubs have that guy, you know?
He certainly showed up a lot this year on our show. Goal of the week goes to...
I'd like to give it to Marco Reus. The flick for the goal was spectacular. Ashraf Hakimi was a wicked assist, but more so than that, it was the fact that it symbolized what, like, I was really looking at Dortmund because they played the early game, and I wanted to see if they were going to extend their lead, if they're going to feel the Bayern pressure, and with him leading the line, they don't look like they feel anything. They're balling out. And Marco Reus, nice goal. It was so cheeky.
BVB, son. Do not forget upcoming games. We have EPL on Tuesday and Wednesday. There are also cup games during this week, and you are looking at the semifinals of the Coppa d'Italia, which is AC Milan hosting Napoli. So, hey, a rerun of that 0-0 summer.
So much fun.
Fiorentina hosting Roma.
That one, if they do play their main teams, I'd be interested to see that.
And I meant quarterfinals. Atalanta, Juventus, and Inter hosting Lazio. Copa del Rey, Barcelona, Sevilla. After
2-0.
After taking the 2-0. So that should be interesting. That's at the new camp. And as far as the leagues are concerned, we are looking at Barca, Valencia, Leverkusen, Mönchengladbach, Frankfurt hosts Dortmund, and then Super Bowl Sunday. It's cracking on Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, there's Super Bowl this weekend.
It is. Manchester City hosting Arsenal.
Oh.
Yes.
As I heard this because Arsenal, during their game, there was a pass interference call missed.
Did you see? No, never mind. Betis hosting Atletico, Madrid hosting Alaves, and Roma hosting AC. And then finally, Lyon hosting PSG.
Nabil Zakir.
Sounds like a good Sunday if you just want to sit there and pull up.
Not watch the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Actually,
exactly.
no. You watch it all the way to the
watch the way
Super
through.
Bowl, and then it starts in about an hour.
Boom. That match is in the books, man. Diving for Glory Season 2, Episode 23. As always, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate anyone who takes the time to check us out. Don't forget Diving for Glory posts every Monday and on every Thursday during Champions League weeks on iTunes, YouTube, and divingforglory.com. Hit subscribe. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Diving for Glory. Rate us on iTunes. And that match is a Rizap. Of course, Yola, Solomon.
Yep.
Diving.
What do you think of condoms?
He's not a man. There's nothing more to say.
Diving.
Glory.